So, got it B. Got it B says 2 quilting squares are shown. The scale factor is 3 to 2. What is the perimeter of the square TUVW? Okay, so if you pick up a highlighter, what dimensions did they give me? What dimension did they give me? Carter?
4 inches.
4 inches. If you're lost at where he's finding that, it's in the picture right here, 4 inches. Have they given me any other dimensions?
Yes.
Any other dimensions?
No.
No, they did not. Because of that, guys, we cannot do image over pre-image to find our scale factor. That means they must have given it to us. What did they give to us as our scale factor? Jackson?
3 to 2.
3 to 2, but how do I write that? How am I going to write it? I can't type in 3 to 2 in my calculator. How am I going to write it? Addie? 3 over 2. Okay, 3 over 2. So they were very, very nice. We didn't have to find the scale factor. They just gave it to us. But because they gave us a scale factor, they're like, well, we're not going to give you the rest of the information. So when we go to solve, this is asking us to find what, Mackenzie? What are they asking us to find? The perimeter. Guys, did they give us a perimeter anywhere? No. Can we figure out the perimeter of this? Reese says yes. Why, Reese?
Because it's a square and all sides of a square are equal.
Very good. It is a square. Since it is a square, we know this is 4, and this is 4, and this is 4. And, Lamaya, if you remember from this morning, how do I find perimeter? Which would end up being what for this one? 16. Label? Inches. Very good. 16 inches. Nice job. So we're doing our perimeter times, and Emma, do we do times scale factor or scale factor squared? Just scale factor. Very good, because it's just perimeter. So when we do this, my perimeter was 16. My scale factor was 3 over 2. And so that means the perimeter of the new one is going to end up being what, Jackson? 24 inches. Any questions on that? If not, go ahead and flip the paper over. Okay, who can read the next one for me? All right, Barry, thank you.
Triangle has a side length of 3 inches of the area of 22 square inches. A similar triangle has a corresponding side length of 6 inches.
Okay, so on this one, pick up a highlighter. What 2 parts? And I really do want you to try to think through this as I ask these questions, because you are going to have 3-story problems on your homework, okay? So what should I be highlighting in the same color? What part should I be highlighting in the same color? Carter?
3 and 22.
So side length of 3 inches, area of 22 square inches. Very good. Because those go with the same triangle. Okay, I know we usually do the corresponding parts the same color, but I want you to know that this area goes with this triangle. That's why we do the same color today. Okay, so if I have a different highlighter, then what should I be highlighting in my other color? Denton?
Corresponding side length of 6 inches.
So side length of 6 inches. And then I would also do, Denton, find the area so that we know that's the one we don't know the area for. You don't have to, but that's just my preference. So we said the one that you know all of the information for, is that the image or the pre-image, Don? The one you know all the information for. Pre-image, very good. So I'm going to put P at the top for my yellow ones because that's my pre-image numbers. That means the pink ones are my image numbers. And this has always been throwing people for a loop today. I'm really sorry. Like, I tell you to look for the pre-image, but is the pre-image the one that goes on the top? No. Okay? So you might look first for the pre-image, but that number is actually going to be on the bottom. Okay? And it was 3 inches on the bottom. That means the 6 inches are on the top. And guys, I am telling you right now, that is so, so, so important that you put those in the correct spots. I have had people do the entire homework assignment wrong because of the fact that they are putting them in the wrong spot. So you need to make sure when you do your scale factor, decide which one is which, and then think through which one goes on the top and the bottom. Do these have the same labels, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, so we can just not worry about the labels and simplify. 6 over 3 simplifies to? 2. Great. Okay, because we take the label off, right? Yeah, so just 2. So after that, what are we talking about, Katrina? Perimeter or area? Area. And when we do area, let's see, Sullivan, do we multiply by the scale factor or scale factor squared?
Scale factor squared.
Fantastic. So we're going to do times k squared. Okay. Xander, what is my area? 22. What did you say it was?
Squared.
You say 22 squared?
22 squared. That's what it says.
Okay. But we're not writing squared down with it. We don't put any labels in when we're multiplying.
Oh.
Okay? So it's just 22. And actually, I'm really glad you said that because of the fact that I have had some people today that when they go to do the work, they don't pay attention to which one they're putting the squared with, and they'll try to do scale factor times area squared. That's not what you do. It's the scale factor that is squared. Okay? So 22 times, Mackenzie, what was my scale factor? 2, and we square it. So if you guys pick up your calculator, I want you to type in 22 times 2 squared. And Austin, what'd you get?
88.
88. So Austin, it's going to be 88, and then what for a label?
Inches. Square.
Very good. Remember, if it's area, there should be squared in the work, squared in the answer. If it's not area, I shouldn't see any squareds at all. Okay? So like on the front, when we were talking about it, we didn't square anything here, so obviously then my label wasn't squared. If you know your label's not supposed to be squared, you shouldn't have a squared in the work. If your label's supposed to be squared, there should be a squared in the work. Okay? Got it. C. It says a rectangle has a side length of 2 feet, an area of 10 square feet. A similar rectangle has a corresponding length of 6 feet. Find the area of the larger rectangle. Take 30 seconds and do your highlighting. If you're not sure what I mean, it's the same as what I did in the last problem. So in one color, I highlighted side length of 2 feet and area of 10 square feet. With my other highlighter, I did length of 6 feet and area. Okay. Let's see. Anaya, which one is my pre-image numbers? Is it the 2 or is it the 6? The 2, yeah. I know both of my numbers for these. If you know all the numbers, that's my pre-image. Now, when I go to write out my K value, though, Anaya, does my pre-image go on the top or the bottom? Very good. Nice job. So the 2 goes on the bottom. The 6 goes on the top. And guys, were they both in feet?
Yes.
Yes, so we don't need to worry about our labels. We can just simplify. 6 over 2 is
3.
3. Very good. I want you to solve from here. We have our scale factor. Everybody has the same number. It should all come out to be the same at this point. is able to tell me what I should be doing? Go ahead, Carter.
So, when you do it, you're gonna put A times K, and then squared, and then you're gonna put the corresponding segments.
So, but this is my area first, right?
Yeah.
So area was
6.
which one was my area?
6 inches. Yeah.
Which one is my area?
Oh,
Area. 10. Very good. Then what was my scale factor? And am I done?
No, you got square.
Very good. Square it. And guys, you can definitely type these in, but a lot of these you should be able to do in your head. What is 3 times 3? 9 times 10? 90. So it's going to be 90 what? What's the labels? Anybody?
90 inches squared. Or
90 feet squared. Xander, do you have a question?
30 squared. Wouldn't it be pretty square now?
No. Okay. You are squaring only the 3. Remember in PEMDAS it tells you to do your exponents before multiplication. So you have to square this one first. You can't do multiply it and then square. That's a really good question. I'm sure probably people were doing that today and I didn't catch it.
Yeah, I got 900, so that's what I was confused.
Gotcha. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, number 4 says the Eddingtons have a 5-foot by 8-foot porch on the front of their house. They are building a similar porch on the back with double the dimensions. Find the area of the back porch. Go ahead and pick up your highlighter. Okay, and with your highlighter, what am I going to highlight with one color?
5 foot by 8 foot porch.
Very good. 5 foot by 8 foot. Do we have any dimensions to highlight in the other color?
Yes.
Do we have any dimensions to highlight in the other color? No, we do not. That must mean that they gave us the scale factor. They had to have given us the scale factor then. What was the scale factor that they gave us? Raise your hand. Katrina. 2. How'd you get 2? I don't see a 2 anywhere.
Because it says double.
Very good, guys. They told us to double it. Doubling it means multiplying by 2. Multiplying by 2, that's our scale factor. You always multiply by your scale factor. So they told us our scale factor is 2 on this one. Now, when I go to do it, let's see, Dom, is this area or perimeter? Area. So if it's area, Dom, are we multiplying by scale factor or scale factor squared? Good. Scale factor squared. Okay. Do we have our area given to us, guys? No, they didn't. However, we talked about this morning when we filled out this paper, and you guys told me how to find the perimeter and how to find the area. If they gave us the dimensions of the porch, we know that it's 8 feet by 5 feet. Xander, what do I do with those numbers? Multiply. So 5 times 8, anyone?
40.
So it'd be 40 feet squared is our area. So when I go to do this one, it is 40 times what? Anybody? 2 squared. Very good. 2 times 2 is 4 times 40 would be 160. Okay? 160 what? Feet squared.
Right, 4 times. Oh, wait. Okay, I get it.
Does that make sense? Okay, good. Any questions? Okay, just because it's a Friday and I want to try to give you a little bit more homework time, we're going to skip the last 3. But I'm going to give you the homework. We are going to do 2 together. And then I will tell you which problems I'm going to ask you to do. We're not doing all of them. Okay? So we'll do 2 together. And then I'll tell you which ones I want you to do. Okay, please start on the side that says homework at the top. Okay? And we're going to do 2, just because of the fact that I hate that this one got cut off, so I don't want anybody confused, so we're just going to get this one out of the way together. Okay? So, that is a rectangle. It just got cut off on the printer. Okay? So, very first thing we do on every single problem is find the
Perimeter and area.
Find that pre-image.
very first thing we did on every single problem was find the okay. Very first thing. Thank you, scale factor. Now, I'm not saying that we don't highlight and do all of those things, but the first thing on each one was we had to do any sort of work to find the scale factor. Okay? So if I want to find the scale factor on here, and I am showing you what kind of work I'm expecting to see. Okay? We need to know which one is the pre-image and which one is the image. Which one is my pre-image of these 2 pictures? Reese? The one with 2 inches, because it gave me both numbers. So that is my pre-image. That means this is my image. So I would write P and I, so you know which one's which. That also helps me when I'm checking your work to see if you did it wrong on accident that way, if you possibly missed it, okay? So when we do it, is it going to be 2 over 3, Riley, or is it going to be 3 over 2? Which one goes on the top? Is it the pre-image or the image on the top? Do we do pre-image over image or image over pre-image? We do what? Which one do we do on the top? We always do which one on the top? If you don't remember, I believe we wrote it at the top of our notes. On the other side. We always do what over what? Image over pre-image. Very good. If you need to, guys, write that up at the top. Image over pre-image. So, Riley, we're going to do what number on the top and what number on the bottom? Very good. 3 over 2. Guys, I do want to see that scale factor before you do any other work. So don't just jump right into the work, okay? On this one, Katrina, are we talking about perimeter or area? Okay, you said both answers. I want to know which one. Perimeter. So our perimeter here was 12. So I'm going to take 12. And since we're talking about perimeter, Mackenzie, is that multiplied by the scale factor or scale factor squared?
Scale factor.
Just the scale factor. So when I multiply those 2 together, what do I end up getting for my answer, Will? 18 what? Very good. 18 inches. Nice job. Any questions on that one? Okay, let's go down to the very last one, number 8.
Where'd you get 12 from?
Right here, perimeter.
Oh.
So it's our perimeter times our scale factor. Okay? So number 8 says, a rectangular shaped flower garden has a length of 5 yards in an area of 5 square yards. A neighbor's flower garden is similar and has a length of 7 yards. What is the area of the neighbor's flower garden? Round your answer to the nearest whole number. When we look at this one, pick up a highlighter. What should I highlight in the same color? Jackson.
Length of 5 yards and
Very good. Those go for the same rectangle. That means my other rectangle is telling me a length of 7 yards, and we don't know the area for that one. Brenna, which one will be my pre-image then? The mine that is in yellow or in green? Which one did you say? That's what I thought. Very good. We always do our pre-image as the one, Brenna, right, that has both numbers, correct? So even when you look up here, the pre-image is the one that had both numbers. All right? So that means this one's going to be my image. When I go to write out my scale factor, Cassidy, which one's going to be on the top? Good, so it's 7 over 5. 7 over 5. Bria, are we talking about perimeter or area? Area. So when I write down my area, does that mean, Emily, that we're multiplying by the scale factor or scale factor squared? Very good. So here is my scale factor, and we have to square it. And guys, this is very, very, very important. So please look up at the board. If you type this in your calculator right now, you will get it wrong, because your calculator's not going to understand what it's trying to do. They're going to think you are only squaring the 7. But you're not only squaring the 7, you're squaring the entire thing, which means you have to use parentheses. Please type it in, and when you type it in, use parentheses. It would look like this: 15 times parenthesis 5 fraction button. I'm sorry, 7 fraction button 5. Close the parenthesis, raise it to the second power. And when you do that, what do you get, Jackson?
29.
Okay, 29 2/5. Now, it said round to the nearest whole number. Would that be 29 or would that be 30? 29. 2/5 is less than half. Very good. So it would be 29 what for our label? Yards squared. Because it is area, it is squared. Very good. Any questions on that one? Now, if you look, the back side, the first 6 are just like number 2 that we did. The bottom 3 are just like the last one that we did. The back side is your homework. Go ahead and get started.